Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are all having a great start to the day. Yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Matt, good for adding the Bollinger Bands. Nice. Hopefully they're looking the same as mine. But glad to hear that you're using them. I love Bollinger Bands. They're incredible. A couple things. Video will be coming out about that AMD trade here at some point today. Just took forever to download from YouTube last night, so the download time was like 4 hours, so I just did it overnight. So apologies for that. So I've got it all cut up and edited, but just kind of need to watch it through. So when I have sort of like an hour or so to do that, I will. So you should expect to see that, yeah, at some point today. Otherwise, let's kind of get after some of today's sort of price actions. Just take a quick look at Market Watch, right? Make sure we're not missing anything on the economic calendar. And today is Friday. We had non-farms this morning. Okay, fine. Unemployment rate went up, right? Well, we kind of expected that with jobless claims going up. All right, so everything looks okay, right? Nothing too crazy there, nothing too outlier. We're certainly not getting any huge moves on the index level here today. To the upside, right? Well, let's start looking at Bollinger, or start looking at the SPY, right? Get rid of those Bollinger Bands. Pretty weird price action there yesterday, right? Huge volume, big sell-off, but kind of mixed signals a little bit, right? We weren't able to close under previous lows. We were still recovered a little bit through, but now gapping down through them. So that's okay, right? But hard to look at this as sort of a full body bullish candle or normal body bullish, but normal body bearish. But it's not exactly, least bearish or neutral bearish either, right? So we're going to call this just bearish candle. Sounds kind of silly, but that's what it is, right? Bearish candle plus gap down plus increasing outlier vol. Okay, to the upside, right? We're not going to change any of these levels. They didn't get invalidated yesterday, so we're just going to assume they're still in play. To the downside, though, we can make a few changes, right? We're not going to be looking or relying on BB reversals here today. We're going to be looking for a breakdown under previous low down towards sort of that 405 area. So it looks like it's sort of that 409 zone, probably 409 on the dot, 409.35, maybe 409.50 if I can really get this tight. Okay, so we'll call it 409.40. So 409.40. Okay, and then next level here is that 405. So realistically, probably a bit much there to assume that it's going to move all in one go. So let's add a couple stops along the way at just sort of round psych level. So we'll go 409.40, 408, 407, 406, then 405. And then let's just draw a line out here, just so we know where to target next, right? And then under that 405, we kind of have, what is this, 403, call it 404. So it looks like we move about $1 at a time. 404, and then under 404, we have a little bit of gap, right, towards sort of that 401 area. Hey, T-Crone, how you doing? So we're just going to leave it at that, right? We're not going to get too attached to any more than this. Let's not overwhelm ourselves with too many levels. Keep the screen nice and clear for us to be able to see. But we got, plenty of space to mark this thing down. One sec here, guys. Apologies for that. So QQQ, right? Similar narrative here. Not exactly a super strong candle here to the downside. Not ton. But also not the strongest like as a dip buy either, right? We still have a little bit of information here that we'd like to see possibly kind of validate itself. So same thing, right? Kind of just a bearish candle, right? Bearish candle plus increasing outlier volume plus gap down. Sweet, right? Same thing. We don't need to change any of the bullish levels, right? They're still fine. But BB reversals, right? We're not really dealing with that here today. We're going to be looking for breakdowns. So we clearly have a nice little shelf there at that 309.30. Okay, under 309.30, right? We kind of have some resistance here, this box. That's the next area where we see price action dip below, right? Kind of that March 8th, right? April, early April 2021. Man, that feels so long ago. So then we go 307.75. Right, which is sort of this low. Okay, then we have sort of 306.75. And then underneath, we have a pretty big sell-off down towards that 300 area. So, again, we're going to assume some resistance along the way. 305, 304, 303, 302, 300. There's plenty of space. Just this one level, maybe I didn't like very much. So we'll call it 307.50. Okay, sweet. Sorted out here to the downside. Decent size, little gap. Huge volume, right, relative compared to other days. So it could be in play here. All right, Apple, right? Good. Increasing outlier volume. Similar type candles like we're seeing across the board. Little bit of a gap down. So again, we're going to call this just bearish candle. Plus increasing outlier vol. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Plus gap down. Again, right, bull case doesn't change, but we're no longer relying on BB bands. So now let's push this thing up, see where there is some relative support. Maybe we have enough space down towards this 154.50. Probably not, right? 40 cents, probably not worth it. So let's just push this thing down. Okay, so 154.40, we'll call it, is our opening target. 154.40. Under 154.40, we go down towards that 153.25. Okay, so just mark this out briefly. Okay, and then we've got 152, which is this low. And then under 152, right, we kind of have this shelf here at that 150 area. So easy enough for me. Sweet. There we go, sorted out. Tesla, all right, increasing outlier volume, maybe more normal body bearish than anything else. All right, so I'm okay calling this normal body bearish. So oh my gosh, normal body bearish plus increasing outlier vol plus nothing gap, right? Not really moving anything here pre-market. Okay. Bull case hasn't changed, right? But bear case has. So looks like we've got a little bit of a shelf here at this 856. Right? Then he goes down towards that 850. There's plenty of space. Ooh, maybe more than that. Okay. All right, we'll call it 84. Nah, 850 is fine. Under 850, we've got space down towards that 821. But realistically, right, let's call it 820. And then let's just assume there's probably a stop along the way here. So 844, call it 840. Because it's the high. It's not exactly perfect. So we'll call it 840, just previous close. And then assume $10. Just moves 830. So that's plenty of space, right? 36 bucks down. That's plenty of space for me to deal with here on Tesla. Normal body bearish, increasing outlier volume, and then a little bit of a nothing gap, right? Totally makes sense. I'm into this, right? Works for me. Microsoft. Full body bullish candle yesterday. Okay, looks a little bit more like the indexes, right? Looks a little bit more like that than Tesla. I'm just going to call this bearish candle plus increasing outlier vol. We're getting that same narrative pretty much across the board. bearish candle, plus increasing outlier vol, plus gap down. All right, so now we mark down this low. That's what, 274.20. Okay, sweet. Under 274.20. Okay, we got about $1. That's fine. Then it goes 273.20. Then it goes 271. And then 270. Sweet. Under 270, that's fine. Looks good to me. I'm okay with this. Pretty easy, right? Not a ton of space down, maybe under 270. We can get a little bit of a flush, but I don't think we need to mark it up too aggressively here today. All right, AMD, right? Inside bar, decreasing volume, right? Albeit outlier. So showing us relative strength compared to some of our other names, right? So we'll call it bearish candle. Why can't I get this up? Call it, so inside bar plus bearish candle plus outlier decreasing volume plus gap down. All right. So inside bar creates a little bit of an opportunity for us to kind of get maybe a little bit of action here. Tough for a bounce, right? We're not going to be looking for breakouts here today. But maybe for breakdowns, we can look for space under that 92 area. Not a ton of space, though. So I'm going to see, I think that's probably better. If we can break down under 91.65, that might be just a little bit more realistic. And then, oh my gosh, sorry guys. 91.65, right? Then we go down towards 90.67. So we'll call it 90.65. Just keep the round numbers consistent here. Just that sort of shelf, right? Then we go down to about $90, and then under $90, we've got 89. So we go 90, 89. Under 89, we got 88. And then 87, and then 85.50. Sweet. Works for me. All right, Nvidia. Let's go to this. So a little bit different to AMD, right? Decreasing volume, but not quite an inside bar. So looking a little bit weaker, right? Relative weakness compared to, right? It looks a little bit weaker. So looks like there probably is a little bit of space. I'm not sure if too much is changing here, to be honest with you guys, on this shelf, right? We still kind of have this level mapped out from this 80, what is this? This 85 area. We could probably map this out. So we go 85, 83, 90, and then we have. So 185. What was this next one? So call that then 184. And then we have sort of the levels we mapped out there last couple of days. We're going to drag this back up. Right, maybe just write this out, 185. Perfect. So we have some levels here to the downside. Like to see it maybe break down. Not too far away pre-market. Looks pretty good. Now let's just make sure that these are right. So kind of looks bearish, right? Bearish candle. Plus decreasing outlier vol. Plus gap down. It's kind of like a 1.5 out of 3. And then last but not least here, Facebook. So decreasing vol, annoying. Okay, so kind of normal body bearish. Kind of looks a bit more like Tesla, right? Normal body bearish plus decreasing vol plus gap down. So again, not perfect, but okay. Now we're looking for a breakdown under 206. Right, and then we have a shelf down towards that 200 area. It's probably pretty aggressive, right? So we're going to assume 203, 200, right? That seems to make sense to me, right? 203 is just this high here, right? So give or take 203. If I get that spot on 203.10, it says. So let's call it 203. 200. Then under 200, it gets pretty aggressive. We go 199, and it goes all the way down to 192. We'll call it $2. We're gonna move it $2 at a time. 197, 195, 193, 192. Sweet, right? So that makes sense to me. Make sure that's okay.